being here. I would like to invite on the stage Marta Klepka. Marta, welcome. She's Group Digital Director CEE, VivaKi Regional Lead, Publicis Group, and she will invite all the rest of the participants in our panel discussion, Big Data for Advertisers. Marta, welcome.
Okay, two guys. Hello, guys. Stay for the discussion. Discussion is always the best part. It's better than the marketing bullshit and presentations. Come. Two guys need to bring the chairs with them because we don't have enough chairs. Let me invite Timotej Gala, Managing Director, Httpool. Mariusz Pawełczyk, Sales Director, CEE, Sociomantic Labs. Tihomir Cirkvencic, Southern Eastern Europe Sales Leader, IBM. Hristov, CEO at Net.info. Apostolov, Business Development Manager, BTV Media Group. Delchev, Business Development at Mail.bg. And Grzegorz Sławatyński, Sales Director, CEE from Nugg.ad. Welcome, guys. We'll be talking about big data for the advertisers. As the conference is a bit delayed, I will try to make it short. But still, there is a lot of discussion there's a lot of subjects to talk about. I would like to, so I think I will just skip an intro for your companies, okay? Because most of you, maybe I will just introduce Grzegorz because Grzegorz had no opportunity to actually present yet. And maybe our guest from Mail. So whoever of you guys didn't have the chance to have a presentation, maybe you can just say a couple of words about yourself, if that's fine. Yeah, and the company you're representing.
About ourselves or about our companies we are cooperating? Okay, so my name is Grzegorz, as Marta mentioned. I'm cooperating with Nugg.ad, a German company. Nugg.ad is a company which provides technology to behavioral targeting campaigns. So we are collecting social demographic, which we collect also some interest data, which can be used into the campaigns. We can also, what is a new thing in our company, we can also deliver this data to any ad server or RTB platform. So nice to meet you.
Okay, Peter, would you like to say something? Would you like to say something as well, Peter?
Hello, my name is Peter Delchev. I'm business development of Mail.bg. You can find things of me about me on the internet, but beware, there are naked photos. Consider yourself warned.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Hristov. I'm the CEO of Net.info, and basically we're the biggest Bulgarian media player on the digital market.
Anyone else? So your audience is familiar with all the other speakers already.
Hi, my name is Apostolov, and I'm Business Development Manager in BTV Media Group, which is the biggest media company in Bulgaria. And I'm mainly responsible for the digital products or the internet-based projects of the company.
Okay, thanks a lot. Welcome, you guys. I'm like really a bit astonished, and I must say I'm a bit shy because I'm the only person, I'm the only woman here on the stage, and I have 7 handsome guys to talk to. So lucky me. Sorry. So my initial idea was, do you hear me? Yeah. So there's a lot of buzz about big data. So maybe we had a couple of definitions and so on, but basically I think it's good to start with a short definition. So big data will be all kind of data that is basically too big to manage, without tools and dedicated softwares and so on. So this is why there is a lot of talking about big data in the internet industry, because obviously in internet as a media channel there is the most data and information about the users and their behavior gathered. Therefore we are here to discuss the big data for advertisers, and most of the guys is actually coming from the internet industry. And why we are talking big data? Maybe I will just give you some data about big data. I just gathered a couple of numbers. I just want you to hear them. So there was $3.2 billion spent on by companies in 2010 for big data, but by 2015 the spend is predicted to reach almost $17 billion. This is a chief information officer, so the publication from the States is a global information. So there is a lot of money there. The annual growth increases around 40–60% in terms of the data that is gathered all around the world, mostly from marketing, communication, and internet and online. 90% of the world's total data has been actually created during the last 2 years. So we are right now, this is the time to talk about the data or data. It depends whether you're using American or British English. And is it just like geeks, you know, sitting in front of their mobiles that are actually browsing Facebook and Google and they are generating so much data? It's not only about that, because actually big data is a big money as well. So for 100 Fortune companies, the increase of usability of the data they are working with by only 10% can actually bring them on average increase of revenue with $2 billion. So this is a lot of money besides, behind the big data. So basically, I would like to ask the guys why big data is important in your company, and you know what you are doing for what you can offer for advertisers to help them to monetize their big data. If I could ask, I'll start maybe from Netinfo as publishers.
Thank you for the question, Marta. If you can please put on the presentation on the screen, I have just put several slides in there. So I think the first way that publishers and advertisers can work together, and they are working together, is by the publishers' help of defining of the audience of the specific advertiser. So we are content creators. We manage platforms where people create content. So, and I really mean for all publishers. So it's the next slide, please. And we know content, and basically we know the audience which is viewing specific content. And with tools like Nugg.ad, like Httpool, like Smart Ad Server, like AdOcean, like all the serving platforms, basically we can give this valuable input to the advertisers and help them find the right audience according to the content that we know. So this is a very, very, very important topic in our opinion. So next slide, please. The other way that we can help advertisers, and we're working really closely with them, is to actually give them the right format. So, like Timotej was mentioning, there are like 1 million possibilities in digital to advertise, to do the formats. There are like thousands of platforms on which you can do it. And for an advertiser, it's like crazy to figure out exactly which to use. So since we own the platforms, since we know them, since we know exactly which positions under which content are converting in a specific way, we can basically give this valuable insight to the advertiser and, for example, give them the numbers that the CTR of a video banner are much higher on a video platform than on a, for example, news channel. So, and the third slide, please. And so these are two things already: audience, formats, and the third thing is that we know the platforms and their usage, and we know the prime times of each platform. So, for example, if we're looking at a video sharing platform like VBox 7, the peak time is at 7 p.m. and we can recommend to the specific advertisers or agencies that if they want to do a campaign which will be viewed on the TV and in the same time on the video sharing platform, then they should pick this time, for example, and again, according to the first two verticals, target it for the right content and the right audience. So we know the prime times, we know the platforms, we know the content, the audience, and the formats that are working. And the next slide, please, would show an even better example. It's, since we already did a lot of product placements, but it's, the next slide, please. Yeah, so it's a weather service, and we checked that 25% of unique visitors use the weather service prior to making a trip somewhere. So when a traveling company came to us and was choosing from our X number of sites which one to use, we recommended this platform. We recommended the game format, which we knew was more engaging, and we targeted it really, really well. And therefore, basically the last insight from the presentation is really that the platforms, the format, the audience related to the content, because we saw a lot of big data information today, and it's vital that it is related to the content, because that's what people do online. They use content. Is pretty crucial, and publishers can really, really help advertisers on this maze. Yeah. So Marta, did this answer your question more or less?
Yeah, more than, yeah. So let's go to further questions, and I'll be trying to make sure that everyone will be answering, because I don't want to ponder too long on one question. We had a discussion beforehand, and actually we had a guest as well here from let's say from more offline industry, and we had this discussion that you don't feel comfortable with advertisers and agencies right now. Because you think that they don't have the big data strategy. Actually, in Publicis Group right now, I'm working with Zenit Optimedia and Performix. We are actually having, we believe that the data strategy for an agency is the crucial thing, because we are basically the oil to make the whole machine work. So the foundation are the tools, like retargeting, advertising network, using all the tools in-house. But so we are working with external experts, but then we are building our capabilities in-house. We start to basically hire. It starts from the head. So we are hiring right now global chief data officers and so on. But of course also in Central and Eastern Europe, slowly we see this trend. In Poland, Czech Republic, we start to use tools in a more informative way and more advanced way. So how is it with TV industry basically? What challenges are you facing?
First of all, the TV industry is measured much harder than online, because when you're in the online business, more or less you can gather or ask your users to provide you the data that you want to use further. But in TV, it is broadcasted by intermediates, which generally do not provide that data back to the publishers, to the broadcasters. It's the same issue with the telecoms and the mobile traffic. This, of course, is normal because it is sensitive trade data for these companies. But what we can actually do as a multi-channel media, and we are doing in order to how can I say, to avoid such type of issues in measuring who is watching what, who is watching it when, is that we can provide solutions that are much more interesting for the advertisers. Mm-hmm. For example, second screen is something that no one else does in Bulgaria except of us. And it allows an advertiser to be bought on the TV advertising, and at the same time on online, where he can target much more precisely the audience he's interested in. And the data itself, it is gathered, and the serving is provided by us. That's, I think, very typical for our region, each publisher to gather his own data and to sell the advertising possibilities by himself. Mm-hmm. And more or less we are on the same page, except that we are trying to combine the television and the broadcast experience with the online experience, and I think we are quite unique in that.
Okay, good to hear. Yes, actually, after talking with my agency here in Bulgaria, I see that the market is pretty advanced, and you have some solutions that are really, really surprising. Grzegorz, I wanted to come back to Nugg.ad as a data expert. So how basically you guys are making big data smaller for the clients? It means more usable,
how to make it usability, how to use it, and generally big data, it's not new thing from my point of view, yes, because I'm similar with that since 2007. Yes, I think that all the things with this big data, it's not only some kind of trend, not only a kind of something new what has just appeared. Yes, from my point of view, it's not only collecting data. Yeah, because there are a lot of information about users. There are a lot of places where we can collect data, but from my point of view, it's more education. Yeah, and to make this data more usable, we have to educate. Yes, we have to show what are possibilities to use this data are. Yeah, so for example, I don't know if you are running branding campaigns. Yes, you have to know that you have to use some different data than you are running, for example, performance campaigns. Yes, how to make it easy to use? We have to educate. Yes, we have to cooperate. We have to talk about the effect of the campaigns. We have to analyze everything.
Any other opinions? How to make big data smaller?
It's also really important because when I'm talking to clients, there's still a lot of data talks, and people are saying, yes, we have huge amounts of data. We are measuring everything, every single what you can do. But in many cases, I had two problems when I was talking to clients, because they told me that problem number one is that sometimes they even don't have a good enough person to analyze all the data, and even if they have, sometimes the problem is that if they decide to make some kind of a change, the process is so long, and they have to get acceptance of many different company places or people. Sometimes it takes a long time to change something, that it's really becoming a problem. And it's really important to help to advertisers, or in general to companies, to use the big data really smart and really fast, because what is worth doing some changes on big data from last year if you are right now facing something completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I think that especially in programmatic industry, because this is where the big data is very big deal. So we need it, and actually there is a lot of discussion right now on the emerging market about programmatic, but we really do not have a good third-party data right now to use, to target. I think at least this is our experience with VivaKi. And we do a lot of interesting projects with publishers. So this is why I wanted to push the question to the publishers, for example, to our guys from Mail. If we would like to enter right now, we are having, as an agency, we have a trading desk. We want to work with publishers to work to buy an automated way from you. What kind of data is available at all from, for example, from Mail.bg that we could use?
Well, basically, what we have now is demographics in terms of age and sex and location. Basically, back in 2008, we launched a behavioral targeting, which was quite innovative back then, and it didn't take off at all, unfortunately. It didn't find market ready to buy behavioral targeting. Also, what we before I embarked on Mail.bg, I worked for one of the telecoms, and what we found there was a showcase with one of the sister operators that launched a hyper-targeting service for mobile advertising, and it didn't take off at all. Basically, it's very hard to explain to an advertiser or an agency that it might be more important to find the 1,000 people who are ready to buy than to pour your advertising on top of 100,000 people. So basically, for now, we are offering age, sex, location, and basically we can find a lot of different information if we are asked to. Basically, we operate huge amount of data, and it has been ever since. For 15 years we have been doing it, and we are able to find quite a lot of interesting dependencies in this data, but we have to be asked about it. And another thing is that most of the advertisers do not give feedback to us about the success of the campaign. Most of the time we just get it was successful or it was not successful, but we do not get any insight, so we cannot optimize on the inventory based on the feedback, and we have asked about it several times. I guess it's pretty much the same with all the publishers on the market. Our market is kind of very well separated and hidden chunks of data at each of the stages. So yes, you can you can serve your advertiser quite well, but you have to come to us to speak with us, and I think we'll have a way to find your target audience.
Okay, so we find a solution. And Timotej, because you guys are one of the leaders with Httpool with automated selling and basically using of advanced technologies, what's your strategy? What's mostly monetizing right now?
Well, it's getting there slowly, since everything is pretty much in. A lot of things are in its really in early stages. But what we want to do is try to really take away all this fuss about big data and all that, because it's not really important for the advertisers. What is important for them is what they can get, how much they can buy for, and what the ROI, right? So our strategy is the following: is to try to really be as open as possible, because as I mentioned already in previous presentation, it was like we have to have an open ecosystem where companies among each other really openly cooperate. And this basically is this competition model. And this means that in our case, for example, we're using a Nugg.ad, using something else, we are gathering our own data, but it's under the roof. So it's basically a really important integral part of, for example, the intelligence layer that we need to have on our ad platform in order to being able to provide the cross-channel, cross-device advertising, and this is pretty much it. So it has to be in the package, but then it's about communicating to the clients, to advertisers, to agencies, what they can get out of it, how they can benefit from, and how they can actually integrate that into their planning process, because the main obstacle for growth and for really going ahead in developing and in changing the way things were done in the past and now to the new models is basically to invest into knowledge, into competence. And when people understand what they can get, secondly, how they can get it, then it's easier to move forward and to basically to offer it, and it will pick up. Behavior targeting, as you mentioned, we had the same problem. I mean, we are selling it here. We have it in Bulgaria, also in other markets, but it's just sometimes maybe even our fault because we didn't sell it too well, obviously, because the agencies, the clients did not perceive it as an added value. On the other hand, it was also at that time too early, so the market was not ready yet. So it's a mixture of everything, and it's about communicating and really understanding what it's all about. And once the level of knowledge in the industry is coming to this critical mass, and it's going to be much easier, and the adoption rate will be much faster.
Okay, great. Tihomir, I would like to give you also the voice, because when we're thinking about data, then we think about audience, and then we think about social. So is Facebook the only company that is sitting on social data? And if not, how we can work with that?
Definitely, Facebook is not the only social media that the data should be acquired from when we are talking about big data. And actually, now thinking about what all we have been saying here is bringing me one thought. It's basically that marketeers actually do not need data. Especially they do not need big data. They just need the insight. The final result, it's on the line what colleague also said. And so that's basically what IBM is actually trying to achieve, to be as much as possible close to the customer and try to find what customer actually wants. There's many challenges when we are talking about big data, sorry. And these are basically the IT challenges as well. How to capture all of these data, how to store all of these data. I mean, if we are talking really about the enterprise-wide big data platform, then there is something that is really something that puts really challenge to the customer. IBM has covered end-to-end everything. So from the way how to set up, how to capture the data, how to store the data, also how to set up the services, how to set up the strategy for big data. It's also one very important topic. So at one point in time, company has to decide going or not going into the big data story and make the strategy for that. Also, there are many other consulting services that can help customers how to actually do it. And how usually IBM is doing this thing, and this now is coming to your point, to your question, is making it on a platform way. So we now have some of the social media. Some of them are already dead. We do not know which one will be popular in the next 4 to 5 years. But in any way, we have to set up this big data strategy in a way that we can actually capture what we have now and what we will have in the future. So that's one of the, I think, really important thing when we are talking about big data and the social.
Okay.
Because of its unpredictability, what will happen in next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, even in 6 months. So.
Okay, so far we have the companies need to have big data strategy, basically a data strategy, how to approach it. We have another conclusion that we need to work as an industry, we need to cooperate, because there are a lot of layers that we can cooperate about. Everyone is offering something different, and actually talking about cooperation, this is something that we are witnessing as an agency right now. In CEE, we want to buy the data, and when we want to buy an automated inventory, but we have a challenge to convince the publishers, the inventory providers, media providers, that this will not necessarily mean that they will lose money. They will actually be able to monetize. They will be able to have also a lot of control. We can set minimum prices. We can set floor prices and so on. Do you have any other hints how to convince basically media owners to enter this programmatic area?
That is one of the issues that I wanted to mention from the point of view of a publisher. A lot of agencies and technology providers are actually they want to facilitate the process of advertisers to reach specific targeted audience based on the big data that is collected. So it could be demographic, it could be content, or it could be behavioral data. The major issue is that companies like us have invested a lot of time and money in building a brand that is recognizable on the market, and when we sell our inventory, we want to not only sell the inventory, but to create an emotional connection between the advertiser and the publisher and the end user. And the problem with such third-party services that they're not interested where the inventory is. They're not interested who the brand is. They're interested in finding exactly the right people. It doesn't matter if they're in our site, if they're in some other site, and that's a problem for the publishers themselves on the market. And I think that this is one of the major reasons that why they don't want to provide that data.
Okay, maybe I think it's called competition.
It's an interesting reason, but definitely don't agree with that. There are several sides of the story, but the thing is, first thing is, advertisers are moving away from buying inventory, and they want buying audience. This is the first point. So more and more is going that direction. And secondly, the fear that the publishers just mentioned is basically it's based on a past, I would say, experience, past way of doing the business. So all of the benefits that can get with a programmatic and all the fears that were addressed can be easily in a way managed if properly structured and addressed the whole point. So in my opinion, the main thing is here that the publishers should go much more into detail. What are the possibilities? What are the things that advertisers actually need? And in the end, also understand their own, the whole holistic inventory, meaning on general, you can say that every publisher has pretty much 3 kinds of inventory. This is really broadly speaking, but for better understanding. You have a premium part of the inventory, which he will be selling on his own anyway, anytime, all the time, because it's his brand, and this is about how basically advertisers or whoever wants to assimilate with this brand. Then you have a long tail, where Google is there, pretty much, and it's about conversions, clicks, and all that. But then you have this mid-tier, I would say, or secondary premium inventory, which is really important, and which on its own publishers cannot really monetize at best with higher CPMs, with higher prices, simply for the reason because you cannot basically sell one thing for one price and sell the other thing on the other price. So here is a big gap where networks, DSPs, exchanges, and all the other players come into place with programmatic. Why? Because all this inventory with proper rich media ad formats, with proper pricing, with proper targeting, can really increase the level of the whole eCPMs, and of course also the level of sell-through rates. So that's why I think it's the main obstacle here is, I would say, still lack of knowledge, and it's all just a matter of time, because these things works globally, and we will come also on other markets.
Okay, as Plamen is here, I think we need to finish.
Oh yeah, can I have it? I know big data makes big panel. Yeah, obviously. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're all hungry, aren't you? So how big data can keep you away from food? That's my question now. But I guess I'm gonna get it later once you come back relaxed.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for being here. Amazing panel, really appreciate it. And I'm so proud that we're bringing such a great guys here on the stage of Webit. So thank you very much for joining. And for you, please mind, we're so much late. Thank you. Who said this? How do you know we're late? We're so much late. Let's make the break only 35 minutes. Please come back immediately after this. We're going to be starting anyway because we need to end this event at some time in the afternoon. Thank you very much again.